Hi, I wanted to do a video because I started a new blog and I think that it would be good if I told some of my family history, so everyone that doesn't really know much about me or doesn't know me at all knows some things about me. I know I talk about uh, random things that I like and what I don't like, and you know a lot about me because of that, but you don't know really a lot about me as far as uh, how I grew up, and I'll try to be as honest as possible without sounding like I want to have a lot of sympathy. I mean, there was a lot of things that I just was born into, and things that I had to deal with because of my family. And again, I mean, it could have been worse, it could have been better, but I'll try to be as honest as possible. And let's get into it. I only have 10 minutes, So, what happened is I was born into my grandparents legally adopted me. I was born March 7th, 1982. I'm 25 years old. And my grandparents legally adopted me because my sister is 33, 34. The other one is in her late 20s. I think she's 28 or 29. I'm not sure. I'm the youngest. They didn't want us splitting up into foster homes. They wanted us all to be together, and they wanted to take care of us, even though I was about 9 months at the time. They adopted me is because my mom doesn't get enough credit, but when she was a teenager, and I don't really know much about it, but I'm assuming some of it was genetic, some of it was because my granddad. She has epilepsy, even though now she takes medication, and she said sometimes she gets a headache, and her doctor tells her that she had a seizure, and she's like, oh well, I didn't know that, I thought it was just a headache. And she doesn't get a lot of credit, but she's smart, but she's not smart enough to fly. She's not smart enough to make a living, and she lives on Social Security. Not much, but she does live on it. And she lives in a group home. Is basically just a home with several bedrooms in it, and this Chinese couple makes them all. It's like her and like two or three other people in other rooms, and they basically make sure that they cook her dinner, because a few years ago, about 4 years ago or so, but after I turned 18 and moved out into the world, what happened was she fell, and she had a studio apartment with a bedroom and bathroom and the whole thing, and she fell, and nobody heard her. That somebody that checked up on her every now and then found her, and she was laying there and she couldn't get up. So they decided that it wasn't safe for her to live and to cook for herself. And so basically, that's just, I mean, just figure out about me. And so what happened was my dad, I haven't really talked to my dad, and I'm not really, I'm not mad at him. I mean, since the day I was born, I've been told that, I talked to him when I was 11 on the phone, and he was in jail. He was in jail for a long time, and I'm assuming it's because of what he did to my mom. And he kidnapped, when my sister was about 4 or 5 years old, I think it was. I think she was about 3. But anyway, when she was really little, he ran off and kidnapped her, and then they convinced him to give my sister back, and they arrested him, I think. And I think that was a lot of why he went to jail. I mean, I should really know this. This is part of me. But it's one of those things I don't really want to ask. But it's, so anyway, basically what he did to my mom, okay, he was taking meds right when people were experimenting with mood stabilizing meds, from what I've heard. Antidepressants and just mood stabilizing pills. And basically, from what I heard, he was a really nice guy when he was on his meds, but he got off and on of them several times. And from what my mom told me, he was just, I'm better off without him. I think my life would have been more screwed up if I was around him, because he raped her, and he basically, she told me once that he would argue with her, and because he was mad at her because she argued with him, he would, I don't know exactly what happened, but she said that he did things under her name to get her in legal trouble, just to get back at her, which sounds kind of crazy, but I kind of, from what I've heard, that sounds like something he would do. And she said that he bought her a nice watch several times. He would buy her something nice and then take it away from her and say, well, you don't deserve this. Like, he would buy it for her just because, and then when she grown attached to it, like a week later, he would take it from her. And so basically, he was very abusive verbally and physically, and he was just, last year, my aunt told me that he was nice around her. She didn't really see his abusive side, and so I don't really know him. And I know my mom, when I was growing up, she said that she missed me, and she felt like she never really raised me. That I was adopted when I was about 9 months old, I think. And my older sister, she went to like a Christian school for her until first grade, and then that's when she was adopted. So basically, that's just why my grandparents raised me, and that has some good things and some bad things as well. That I was raised by my grandparents. I wasn't, because I've heard some horror stories I've told my a friend from middle school. She said that she was adopted by her grandma when she was about 11 or 12. She went from foster home to foster home. I think her mom was a drug addict, and so she got taken away from her mom, and then they treated her like crap. She got everything. As far as abuse is concerned, anything you can do that's horrific to a child, she got. And the nice families that didn't abuse her and wasn't that bad, or they just neglected her, which, if you're being abused and then you go into a family where you make your own dinner and no one really pays attention to you, that's better than abuse. If you're old enough to cook for yourself. And so basically, the ones that she could tolerate, she was taken from quickly, and she just never had a stable home until her grandma found her. And so she said, thank goodness, Jody, that you were. So anyway, I gotta go.